Hey foodies, welcome and welcome back to Cooking with Kiana. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some shrimp and salmon pineapple fried rice. But before I begin, if you are new here, please take a quick second to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss weekly recipes. And of course, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and let's get started. Alright guys, so to start off, you're going to need one pineapple. If you want to, you can skip this part entirely and plate this up in a plate. However, it's the summertime, why not be nice and festive and do this in a pineapple? You're going to cut your pineapple in half, and then you're going to go ahead and score along the sides of it, making sure you make deep cuts so we can scoop out that interior. Once you're done cutting along each side, it should be shaped like a rectangle. Now you're going to do two slits going down vertically, and you're going to cut these two slits right around the core. Now you're going to cut 3 to 4 slits going horizontally, depending on how big you want your pineapple chunks to be. It's totally up to you since we won't be needing the pineapple chunks for this recipe anyways. Once you're done scoring your pineapple, you're going to go ahead and spoon out all of the pineapple chunks. Go ahead and set that aside for a pina colada or a smoothie. Scrape out any pulp or juices that are left behind, but make sure you reserve at least 2 to 3 tablespoons of pineapple juice because we're going to be needing that for our recipe. Once you're done, your pineapple bowl should be all carved out and ready to be stuffed like you see right here. Now let's prepare our salmon. I'm going to be making a sweet and spicy jerk marinade to really kick up that flavor. You'll need a tablespoon of wet jerk seasoning. I like to use walkerswood. A tablespoon of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a teaspoon of creole seasoning, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and a half a teaspoon of ginger powder. 3 tablespoons of juice from the pineapple. And now you're going to go ahead and give that a good stir until the paste is well combined. It should be a smooth and thick consistency. And this sauce is adjustable. If you want to, you can add a little bit more of that jerk seasoning if you want it a little bit more spicier, or you can add a little bit more brown sugar if you like it a little bit more on the sweet side. Now that my marinade is the perfect consistency, let's go ahead and move over to our salmon. I'm going to be using about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of salmon. I've already went ahead and cut them up in chunks, and I have taken off the skin. You're going to go ahead and pour all of that marinade over your salmon. You're going to mix that all together until every single bite is covered in that marinade. Let this marinate for at least 30 minutes so it can soak up all of those flavors. Try not to go over an hour. That is when your salmon starts to get mushy. Once done marinating, you're going to add them into your skillet over medium to high heat, making sure you spread them out so they can all cook evenly. And you're going to try to sear these. I know they're not going to get super golden brown because they are wet, but you want to sear them on each side for about 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you're going to go ahead and turn that over so you can sear the other side. Go ahead and mix that around so that marinade could thicken up a bit. If you notice, it's going to make a nice glaze. Just be careful when you are mixing it around because the salmon will tend to flake and fall apart. Once you're all done, you're going to go ahead and remove your salmon from the pan, and you're going to go ahead and set that aside in a bowl. And when you're all done, they should be nice and juicy and flavorful like you see right here. To be honest, I tasted one and it was so good I was fighting back the urge to eat all of them. Now let's get started on our shrimp. I'm going to be using 1 pound of jumbo shrimp. You want to make sure you wash, peel, and devein them first. I have went ahead and left the tails on. I just do this for presentation. If you want to, you can take off those tails. You're going to season this up with 2 teaspoons of soy sauce and a teaspoon of complete seasoning. I know this doesn't look like a lot of seasoning, but trust me, this is plenty, especially considering that that soy sauce is filled with salt. Give that a good stir until that is well combined and set that aside. So this is the part where it starts to go really fast, so pay attention. You're going to add a generous amount of olive oil and some butter into a pan. Add in 2 scrambled eggs, and you're going to let that cook on medium heat. Add a generous amount of salt and pepper to season up that egg. Now once your egg becomes nice and firm and you see small little holes start to form, you're going to go ahead and fold it inward. and just keep folding that inward until your egg is no longer runny. Remember, you are going to be adding that egg back in later, so you want to make sure you don't overcook it. Now, once you're all done, you're going to go ahead and remove the egg from the pan. Then you're going to add your shrimp in right after, making sure you really spread them out. That way they can all cook evenly. Since they're shrimp, you're not going to need to cook them for too long. All they're going to need is about 3 to 4 minutes per side. Keep in mind that cook time does vary depending on the sizes of your shrimp. If you guys are enjoying this recipe so far, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up and a comment below letting me know what you think. Also leave a comment below letting me know what you guys want me to cook next week. I post bomb recipes weekly. If that's something you're into, you might want to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Once your shrimp is all done cooking, you're going to go ahead and remove them from your pan and set those aside. Then you're going to add a generous amount of oil so you can add in your diced onions and pepper. You'll need half of a large onion and a half of a large bell pepper for this. Now once you've added them in, you're going to go ahead and stir that up and let that cook until the onions become nice and translucent and they soften up a bit. Then I'm going to add in a tablespoon of oyster sauce. This is going to make the rice very savory and full of flavor, so do not skip this step. You're going to stir that in and let that cook for about a minute. Then I'm going to go ahead and add in a half a bag of frozen vegetables. If you don't like vegetables, you don't have to add them in. You're going to go ahead and season this up with 2 teaspoons of creole seasoning, 2 teaspoons of onion powder and garlic powder, a half a teaspoon of ginger powder, and a half a teaspoon of sugar. Next, you're going to add in 4 cloves of garlic, and of course you want to make sure those are chopped finely. Then you're going to go ahead and stir this all together so those flavors can really marry into each other. So you want to stir this and let this cook for about 2 minutes so the garlic could cook out a little bit, and so can the vegetables. Now it's time to add in the rice. I'm going to be using 2.5 cups of cooked long grain white rice. And when you're making fried rice, you want to make sure that rice is not freshly made, okay? You really want to make sure the rice is at least a day old. Doing this prevents your rice from becoming super gluey and soggy. So you're going to go ahead and take that spoon and just break up the rice if need be. Then you're going to go in and add in your eggs, and you're going to break that up as well, making sure you don't have any clumps of rice in there. Now you're going to go ahead and add back in the shrimp, as well as 1/4 of a cup of scallions. Now you're going to go back in with that spoon, go ahead and give that a good stir so everything is well combined. Then I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of soy sauce just to add some additional flavor. You're going to stir that one more time to make sure those flavors really marry into each other. At this point, you can give it a taste, see if you want to add some more seasoning, but honestly, I think it's perfect just like this. Now it's time to plate this up. I'm going to go ahead and add this into the pineapple bowls that we made earlier, and I like to really pack that in. And of course, we can't forget to add that sweet and spicy jerk salmon. This is just the perfect meal for the summer. Just imagine having this at a cookout. I know you guys are gonna definitely enjoy this recipe. That is why I have left the full recipe in the description box below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.